Hello and welcome to the Globetrottin ADs. Since 2019, a way for athletic directors, activity coordinators, coaches, and friends to connect and collaborate no matter where they are around the world. We hope that you enjoyed the podcast and share it with anyone you think will enjoy it as well. And now, let's get this episode started.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our final podcast of this school year, 24-25, our 16th one of the year. And going to do a little recap today about the what's happened this year, some plans going forward for the Globetrottins, and a little wrap up of sorts for everybody. So glad you could join us. And before we dive in, what's up, Nick? How we
Hey,
doing?
yeah. Thanks, Matt.
I'm jealous of you. You're already on your holiday. I'm still at work.
Yep, yep. Week one of summer vacay.
I'm
Um, and I
surprised you're even up. So for everybody, it's 9 o'clock Central Eastern Time in the morning, and I was surprised Nick turned up this
I
morning.
was at a concert
He's on
last
holiday.
night. I was out a bit late, but you if you stay up late, you gotta get up. So I've got a lot of stuff done already. I got lists, stuff that I want to do, which is cool, and that includes going to Top Golf in a few
Ah,
hours.
fun. Ah,
So busy day.
ah. Digging in a little deeper. Oh, good. I'm not that far behind. Just it's a Tuesday, so we have 4 more days, including today this week. So actually three and a half, three, because Friday's a half day. So
It is funny,
all
we usually all have the same amount of school days, right? Give or take a couple. So whether you're a week later now, you probably had a longer Christmas, or you started later, or whatever it is, right? So um, I I'm feeling better now, but you have felt better on other days when I was working this year, right?
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, look at what do you want to? Let's talk about our year. Something that stuck out to you during your year, that you're either glad it's over, or um, what do you?
Well, okay. So for me personally, so this is the first year we've dealt without children in our household, so we're empty nesters now. And so the adapting to that was a big thing for us this year. And then with
Well, wait,
that,
are you really, like, it's more work, isn't it? That's what I hear. Like, they're not under your roof, but you're you're concerned about them and they're far away. Isn't
oh
that?
yeah, yeah, it's always on your mind, of course. You never stop worrying. So don't worry about that, Nick. You'll always
Damn.
worry.
Uh,
They're out of the house. But I don't know if either I just dove into work more this year, but it just seemed like this year was busier and went faster than previous years for some reason. So maybe that's just my perception, but I don't know. It was a good year, but I feel like I was busier and more into my work this year and full on, like with every just running the program and
yeah.
doing what I do. And so, but it was a good year. I would say, we had success. I didn't feel like there was any major malfunctions of any sort, which we really need to look at and correct for next year. And there's always things you can do to be better. There are always little glitches that'll
Yeah.
happen, of course, as long as they don't turn into major problems. But overall, I felt like it was a pretty smooth year. We had some big tournaments we hosted on this year, full on with our DVAC League and our SKIS League events and sending out all our teams. We were full on with all of our teams, made all of our commitments. So it was good. A
Yeah.
successful year.
And maybe
In fact,
you.
I gotta wrap all my stats up for a presentation on this weekend or on Friday. So I would have more information, but I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, like stats, like how many kids participated, or how many
Yeah,
true season
participation
athletes.
numbers, like how many varsity athletes or how many seniors were able to participate. That's always a good one to point out because you want to be able to say to, upcoming kids, like, listen, we know the program which is hard. The IB program is hard. If you do an AP or if you're doing the regular program, the regular diploma program, it's still rigorous. But as we always say, there's a good balance to have can do sports activities and your academics. So I think it's just keeping that point out there and keeping it
Yeah.
in a positive light so that kids can be reminded of that for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, exactly. We do the same. We recognize three season athletes, juniors and seniors, and this year I think there was five in each grade level that played three seasons, which is pretty cool. But we give them a special award and get them up on stage, and then when we talk about that, we talk about. I also give the numbers of how many two season athletes there were, or how many people just played one season as a senior, and that basically we need everybody to keep playing for our teams, but I think that blows some parents' minds because at our banquet, the parents come as well. Not every parent, but there's like 400 people in the gym, and all the parents that are there that see these people like, holy cow, there's this many people that did three seasons. Um, yeah, it's funny. It's funny. It's
So
nice.
just curious, what's the award you give for that?
Well, when I started it, we our core values were had challenge as one of the core value words. So we all called it the challenge award to challenge yourself to play three seasons, try something new. Um, and then they took the challenge away from me, and the only new word that fits is called aspire. So it's the aspire award now, which fits. It's nice. It's fine. But they wanted something wrapped up into the core value words, which is cool. So it's the aspire.
And how often do those change, those core value words?
I hope they never change again until I retire because that wasn't fun. We, I'll tell you what, this is a good tip for anybody. I had the first core value words that we made. I was a part of the committee. We made these core value words. It was new when everyone was making them, and I put them everywhere. All the graphics I designed, I had them in the shirts, in the jerseys, in the neck collar, everywhere, even if it was just in the background. And then they changed them. Like I don't know, 6 years later, 5 years, I don't know, and I'm still annoyed because I still am like changing things or seeing things with the old core values that I
Yeah.
wish I didn't need to change or waste of money or so whatever. They had good reasons to change them, but now when I make signs, I don't put the core values on there at all. I put like the least amount of things that could be changed on there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that it happens and plays out. So yeah, so getting back to my year, it
Yeah,
was a success, and for me, with the second year of the continuation of our reformed SKIS League, and that worked out quite well. So we feel like we're on a good place right now with just six schools in that league, and it's a good core of athletic directors that it's nice having a small group of just six is good.
yeah,
We feel it's like we can get on pretty good and be efficient. And the housing program, of course, is working well once again. And just a lot of tweaks still to be done, but we're in good situation there. So hats off to Anthony for his leadership this year after taking over after I had to do the chair bit last year. And so he'll continue on through next year too.
nice. Nice. Yeah, yeah, we're going all I think I don't know, kind of stuttering around. I think all normal there. I didn't Nothing really stuck out to me like it was a good year. Um Conference wise, no big problems. I mean, top at our schools were the QPA award that we got. That was something we started in COVID, then put on the back burner, and then did a lot of work last year to finish it off this year, which was cool. So we had that. Student scholarship. The NIAAA had their student scholarship this year, extend to international students, and the male winner was from my school, which was pretty cool.
Ah, nice.
So Arch Stanton was the male international winner, and he'll go against the other, let's say, U.S. section winners. And the very little nugget, which would be amazing, because I know NIAAA always was worried about the student scholarship and if an international won, would they come to the conference? Because they could be anywhere in the world, right? And they're not going to pay for them to fly from, I don't know, Australia to the conference. So Archie wins, and he's going to the University of Florida next year, which is
Ah,
like an hour from the conference.
Nice.
So when I found out that he won, and I had to send in a photo of him and stuff like that, I made sure to say that a few times, like, "Ooh, and by the way, he got accepted to the University of Florida. He's going there, and if he would be chosen, he'll be there for sure." So that could be pretty cool. Not that they would pick him just because he's there, but honestly, that has to be a consideration, right? Like if they pick a winner,
Sure.
that they would show up at the conference um,
Yeah.
to deliver their speech. So
And did he get a little bit of a scholarship prize too?
yeah, 2000 US.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. Pretty cool.
Well,
Pretty cool. And we
congrats.
surprised them at our banquet. So I found out just before our end of the year sports awards, and we always have a student speaker at the beginning to say a few words and give a bit of a speech. And so I asked Archie to do it because he was you know, let's say our representative for that scholarship. So I asked him to say a few things and then read his essay. So then after he read it, I made a big fake check. I had laminated, put like the NIAAA logo on it, and I came out and surprised him. And his family was in the crowd, and they all thought that was great. Good kick of that.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, cool.
Cool.
So I said, "Don't take it to the bank." He didn't know what a check was. Some of these people, they're like, "What was that you gave him on
Yeah.
stage?"
More.
It was a check. Well, what? You
That's
know?
funny.
Yeah.
I still write about 5 checks a year, I think, maybe 3 or 4 or 5, something like that. Just when I'm back in the US, I'll cut a check just for old times sake. Pay a bill.
So bad. They still need them. Like sometimes for things for my dad, they're like, "Oh, we need a blank check." I'm like, can't I
Yeah.
just transfer you some money? No, no, no. We need a blank. Okay, sure. Yeah. No, so that was cool. That was cool. One of my main things is speaking of the award ceremony was this year, and we talked about coaching and being an AD and conflicts and things a few episodes ago. Well, um, you've had your kids at school, and a lot of us have our kids in our programs. And last year, my youngest daughter, who was going into eighth grade, told me that one of her main goals for the year was to be athlete of the year in eighth grade. And she's super sporty, and she's a 3 season athlete. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. Like, we talked about it. Why would you want to do that? And she's like, oh, I think it'll push me to be better at basketball, which was her least favorite sport at that time, and to practice those sports as hard as I practice other sports, and da da da. She had a good reason, and ultimately she also thought it'd be pretty cool, which is nice. So she kept that throughout the year, like and early on she kept, oh, I'm captain. I got named captain of the soccer team. That'll help me as trying to be athlete of the year, right? And I'm like, yeah. And then same thing for basketball, and so we talked about what makes an athlete of the year. But my whole time, Matt, I was worried. Shit, she better be like the knockout athlete of the year, or not at all, because you know what are people going to think? Like, oh, Nick's daughter. Maybe not the coaches, or maybe not the teachers that would know her and would vote
Sure.
for her, but the other parents, right?
Yeah, the optics of it.
Right, like, oh,
The inside track.
yeah, like, oh, everyone likes her because she's Nick's kid. That's why she won. So I was definitely worried about it, and as the year went out, she was captain of all three teams. The basketball team came in second place. Softball team, they won. So it ended up being pretty much a lock for her, like hands down, um, which was pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, pretty cool feeling, but also like I was really more worried about the optics, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
But we try to put a good system in place to dispel anything. Just why'd you pick this kid over that kid? So I'm interested how you do it. I know yours is coming up, but the last few years we've asked coaches to nominate athletes, and they have to write a few lines. Why do you think that person should be athlete of the year, and why do you nominate them? Then we take all the nominations, put them back out to the coaches to vote. So for middle school girls, for example, there were three kids that got nominated, but we put in all the comments. So like 4 or 5 people nominated Emma and wrote a bunch. One person nominated one girl, wrote something. 2 people nominated someone else. So anyway, and I send it all out. People can read the comments, and then they make an informed vote. So that worked well in the past. We've had some, close calls, I think, and you can just prove it to anybody, you know, why you voted for this person, or why that person won. So it was pretty helpful this year, but it was still worrying.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a good way. I think ours is similar, maybe a little more subjective, I guess, where I poll the coaches for nominees,
Hmm.
and I form a little committee with myself and usually the PE teachers and the middle school principal, and then we'll talk through the nominations and why they're deserving or what makes one stand out maybe a little more than the others. And it was this year was actually quite difficult because we had quite a few good nominees, really like
Yeah.
could have gone either way, a couple ways. In fact, we had a tie, so we just ended up doubling the giving out two,
Oh,
which was fine
really?
too. Yeah,
Wow.
just couldn't decide, so it was fine.
But you haven't
Um,
given that out yet, right?
we did for middle
Ah,
school,
military.
and now high school will be announced on Friday, the last day of school. So, and that one was easier. Like
Hmm.
sometimes it's great, like when it's a slam dunk, it's like, yeah, nobody's going to question that. And I've been through similar process too. I've been on the NFHS or sorry, NHS, National Honor Society
Hmm.
committee, and it's kind of a similar process where you kids apply and you go through that. So, um, at the end, we felt like it was pretty close, but you never know.
Yeah.
You could still find either get maybe a parent who's not happy with the result or
Yeah.
thought maybe the kid was more deserving than the one who got it, or well, we could have got another one. But yeah, it's and a while back we almost thought of doing away with awards for middle school in particular, because like is it developmentally appropriate for that age group, or is it whether to or not to for the end of year awards? So we don't do team awards for middle school during the seasons.
Hmm.
We just have team get-togethers and they get certificates,
Yeah.
and then we just do the major end of year awards. So, but I still think it's a nice honor, and they're valid, and it's definitely appreciated. And it's nice when you're at the assembly and you hear when the kid's name is called out,
Yeah.
like the applause they get, and it's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's cool. Yeah, and if it's a surprise, right? Like our high school female athlete of the year, she won it last year. She was amazing. 3 seasons, all tournament, broke records, like just and she it was
yeah,
2 years in a row. So, people were excited for her and she was excited, but I mean there was no it was her. Um, but yeah, when it's
yeah. But in your case, I've been in the with your own child
yeah,
being a nominee, and I've been in that situation too with my own kids, and they wanted or didn't get it, but were nominated. So
yeah,
I had to put myself in a situation I had to actually remove myself from the
right.
committee. So because I said I didn't want it to be viewed, or it was the right thing to do, just to step out of the conversation. That it's in good hands.
Yeah,
I don't want it to be skewed in any way or perceived as skewed. So
right.
that's what I did for my kids, and it worked out good.
Yeah.
So
The way I changed it was for our we have a middle school banquet and a high school banquet, and Andy and I agreed that we would share the duties, let's say, as the MC. And so the high school one was first, and I did all the team. I called up all the teams, and then I gave out all the major awards. Um, and then for middle school, we changed it so that Andy gave out the major awards because I didn't want to call out Emma's name and present
yeah,
to Emma. I thought it would be weird for the people out there. How and the winner is my
yeah.
daughter. And then the photos look a bit cheesy too. So we switched that out. So Emma did ask, why aren't you doing the awards tonight, Dad? You did the awards last night. I'm like, just changing it up, Emma.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it worked out. And so
yeah, yeah,
congratulations, of
yeah.
course, and incredibly proud moment,
Pretty
to
cool.
see that.
Yeah, on the wall for eternity in our nights to remember. Pretty cool.
Cool.
Yep. But now she's just a sleepy teen up in her room, still asleep at 9:30 at summer
Lucky.
break. So yeah, summer plans, Matt. Let's what are you gonna do? Work like personal but work wise. Do you have anything you're gonna work on over the summer while you travel around?
Yeah, so we had our last podcast. We talked with Turner and Mike about AI. So I'm kind of pumped about that. I just scratched the surface a little bit by checking the websites out a little bit. So
Hmm.
at some point this summer, I'm going to take a morning or whatever and just sit down and just start really playing around with it, or get a subscription, or just
Yeah.
make time to start monkeying with it and then see what happens. But I'm pretty excited about that, especially the video presentation piece. I've got some ideas of how I could utilize that here at school, because we do
Cool.
like a Monday morning newscast in the high school.
Okay.
So I'm thinking maybe I'll have my own little sports broadcast, but it's just not me, but
Yeah. Yeah.
virtual me
Sure. That's cool.
doing a presentation with a cheesy 70s sport coat and
Well, you have those. I know that. You don't need to AI those, mate.
some cool background things like a Super Bowl trophy or the Stanley Cup, maybe like that.
That's funny. Yeah, cool.
But no, that's one thing. And then my Ohio teaching certificate expires a year from now, so I got a time, but I have to take some coursework I want to keep that active. So a little coursework for that. And then I'm going to go to Rio. I've been invited to go down there to present at a conference in Brazil. So
Awesome. Yeah.
So big shout out and thanks to Clau in Brazil for inviting me down for that. And we'll see how that goes. Teach some NIAAA courses, run some workshops, work with coaches and ADs in that region, and see what we can do. Looking
That's gonna
forward to
be
that.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Then in between, have some downtime, try to relax, stay active, keep my exercise regimen going.
Yeah. I mean that this is the time where I can do some exercise. Like I'm not tired from the day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get to the gym and yeah, I'm starting to run, so I can work that in. But yeah, no, the AI stuff for me too. I think honestly, before that, I wasn't really thinking of doing anything. I did a lot of work for the fall already. Got a lot of the prep work done that I often do in the summer. And I was kind of thinking of like, what am I gonna do to do something just every once in a while, work wise. And then they gave us a bunch of things, so I'm gonna look into some of that as well. And Mike mentioned
Cool to
about Gemini. We're a Google school. We have everything. I know all the teachers use Gemini, and I just haven't switched over from ChatGPT, so I'm gonna check that out
Okay.
because yeah, it seems like there might be more functions available because we kind of have it, I guess, if you can have it. So that's cool. Uh, yeah, but a lot of trips for me. Couple Blue Jay games. I haven't been to a Blue Jay game in a long time. So when we go back to Canada, I'm going to go to two games with my little athlete of the year and the other one. Um, and yeah, so that'll be pretty good. Pretty good traveling around. Malta,
Nice.
Portugal, um, and Canada.
Yeah. Well, next week I'm very much looking forward to this weekend coming here because I'm off to Munich, go visit some friends, do a little biking, little brewery biking tour up there,
Cool.
and then also to outside of Munich, out by the lake, and then down in northern Italy to do some about biking in the mountains and a rafting trip and some other fun stuff with
Wow.
my
That's
boys here visiting, so that'll be fun too.
that's cool. That's exercise right there.
Yeah,
Biking and rafting. That's
that'll be
cool.
great.
Cool. All right. Well, look at. I think we want to wrap the year up, eh? And I want to just remind if you know what I think the people that are listening all know these things because they listen and we've talked about them. But last shout out for anyone for summer plans, coaching for a greater purpose, August 15th to 17th in Frankfurt. Whether that's the start of your school year or still in your summer break, that's a great conference, and they should check it out. cgpconference.com.
Yeah, that'd
And
be
I wish
great.
I could go, but I can't. First year, I can't make it.
All right, you're going to be in
Be up in the Alps
your
volunteering again.
jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough timing because I will be with the CISA teacher softball tournament. So I'll be there representing you again, Nick. Don't worry. Keep keep the tradition alive.
So you're gonna go to Bucharest. That's good. Good for you. You guys got
Yeah.
a team
So
together.
yeah, excited to see these go down there and visit and give these guys a chance to run the show for a minute and
Cool.
have them host. I know they're excited to host us down there, and
Yeah,
it was a good time. Good collegial, good time.
for sure. For sure. Cool. All right. Well, Matt, wrap the year up well this week, and don't be too bored at school.
Yeah.
Get some work done.
Never a dull moment. We're always learning, we're always advancing and keeping things moving forward and our head above water.
Yes, that's what I
That's
hope.
the main key.
I hope everybody who listens does the same.
Yeah.
Has a great summer or downtime whenever, if it's a whole big summer break or shorter or what. Yeah, and comes back listening. We'll be back for a seventh season next
Right
year.
on.
Uh, Not that anyone doubted us, but I guess that's the news. I think
Yeah.
this
And
year, this 16th episode you mentioned was our fewest so far, but not far off, right?
not too bad. We were talking before we got recording that I think that's a product of the busy nature of things these days versus what it was 5 years ago when we first got this going, right?
Yeah,
So, which is all good. We still try to do it and keep information out there for folks and talking about relevant things to make our programs better. So we'll definitely keep it going. But yeah, we'll try to keep that bar up at the 20 something episodes a year. We'll see.
we'll get there. 16 isn't far. That's not far off. That's fine. It's good.
Yeah. And of course, Tampa at the end of the year. Looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, we'll do some there. We could do a live game, a live podcast from the Bucks game on Thursday night.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work out very well, but it would have been fun.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, and Matt, have a great summer because I won't see you. First summer in a while, I won't see you
I
anywhere.
know.
So
I know.
everybody out there in GTAD land, have a great summer.
All right, guys. Have a good one, everybody.
Kukri Sports is a clothing brand that specializes in providing the world's most prestigious schools with bespoke made and designed team uniforms. If you're frustrated by inconsistent colors, branding, cost, and sizing across your teams, then it's time to email someone at Kukri Sports today. When you email contact@kukrisports.com, tell them about the Globetrottin ADs, and you'll receive a special offer on your coach or PE staff order. This has been another episode of the Globetrottin ADs. We hoped you enjoyed it. And until the next episode drops, head over to globetrottinads.com or visit us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram